that bill is passed. Over $900 billion in Medicaid cuts. SNAP is being cut. Student loans, Pell Grants, harder to get. ICE is about to be the biggest law enforcement group in the country. ICE. There's $100 billion going to the defense, and the 1% is about to live their best life like they've been doing this whole time. Hospitals are about to start shutting down, which some of them have already prepared to start shutting down. It's gonna be harder for a lot of people now. A lot of people are about to die, and that's not even a joke. And it makes me sad because a lot of y'all MAGA people, y'all voted for this man because he was a white man and he had how many felonies and how many failed businesses, but it didn't matter, because I would rather vote for the white man who has no experience and is not here for the whole American body than vote for a black woman who's had the experience her whole life and actually wanted us to do better. Wanted better for America. And for all the Republicans, y'all spineless POSs, y'all, I hope y'all get unseated. I really do. But for everybody else, we tried. We did the best we could. We did the best we could. Primaries is what's next. I'm taking a break. I need a break from this app. I need a break from everything. Because I feel like November all over again, when Republicans were saying that, oh, Project 2025 isn't real. It's not real. It doesn't exist. And then turn around and after he won, it's real. And now they're saying, oh, we are touching Medicaid. Now they admit it after they passed the bill. So y'all dummies, y'all fell for it again. Congratulations, y'all screwed all of America.
So the House just voted yes on the big ugly bill, okay? It's heading to Trump's desk in the morning, and we know what's going to happen when it gets there. I want to read for you some of the comments I saw scrolling through in the live stream as I was watching the proceedings. Loving the liberal tears. Hey, Democrats, who's your daddy? Praying for passage. Hear that? It's the sound of winning. Trump 2028. Libs cry and seethe. LOL. Okay? I want you to hear what we were saying in those same chats. Only the top 1% wins. I'm nauseated. This affects my mom and her health care. Cowards. Billionaires won, people lost. They have failed us. The consequences for this decision will be monumental. And I don't want to hear shit. I don't want to hear shit for MAGA when your rural hospitals are closing down. I don't want to hear shit when you can't afford your racist grandma's medication. I don't want to hear it. Because you cheered this on, you voted for this, and now you get to deal with the consequences. And unfortunately, we all do too.
Well, look like the House Republicans passed the damn bill.
On this vote, the yeas are 218, the nays are 214. The motion is adopted.
All we gotta do is wait until they put it on Dookie Booty's desk for him to sign it. I knew that none of them Republicans were gonna come through. I knew they was gonna switch up in the last second. I don't even know why I had any type of faith thinking that these fucking Republicans was gonna have some type of moral stability, to have some sense of fucking humanity for the American people and vote no on this fucking rule so that it would just kill the bill. But no, Republicans had to show us that they are exactly who we think they are. A bunch of evil, reckless motherfuckers.
It passed. It passed the House of Representatives 218 to 214. I took this moments before that last vote hit the Republican side for yays, and this side of the House of Representatives, which as you can clearly see is lacking in diversity, I wonder why, erupted in cheering and chanting of USA. Since it's already passed the Senate and been sent back to the House with revisions, now that the House has voted on it to pass it, they will now be putting it on Trump's desk and he will sign it into law. They just made the poor poorer and the rich richer and completely gutted the middle class. Medicaid, Medicare, ACA, SNAP food benefits, the VMAs, hospitals, daycares like Head Start, and the like are all going to either have to shut down or take incredible cuts. Families are going to hurt, children and elderly are going to die, while billionaires get richer, fill their pockets, and add $3 trillion to the American deficit. Democracy just died. All we can do now is pressure, call the White House, get out on the streets, veto, call for a veto of this horrendous bill. Use our voices, speak out, get in contact with civil rights lawyers, find boots on the ground organizations, and protest. Stop consuming, start protesting. Because at this point, it's all we can do.
It's over. It passed. And this is what that means for so many Americans. Billions of dollars cut from Medicaid, which affects millions of Americans. The poorest of the poor people in this country are going to lose their health care, be unable to feed themselves, and this is what people wanted. And the richest people in this country will get a tax cut. So if you're not upset, then I'm confused. If this is what you want, I think you need to take a much deeper look at who you are and what you stand for, because this is devastating to so many people in this country. You are often one step away from needing assistance. One step.
So the big ugly bill has been passed. I can't call it beautiful because I can't find the beauty in the bill. I done looked up, down, and around for the beauty. It's just not there. $930 billion in Medicaid cuts. Over $100 billion in SNAP benefits cuts. I mean, come on. I get a lot of y'all talking about, oh yeah, make the lazy ones work. Ain't nobody defending the lazy ones, because the lazy ones should stop abusing the government and get out and get them a job. I'm talking about these senior citizens, the elderly, your grandparents, these nursing homes, these overworked workers in the hospital when they close all the urgent cares down and we don't have but 2 major hospitals in the city, or some people have 1 major hospital in the city. Where does all those people lie? I could walk out this room right now and show you how it's got people already in hallways of hospital because they done ran out of beds to put them on floors. That's the type of shit that y'all wanted though, huh? Because y'all went down there and stood in line to vote for that orange fella, and look how it's turning out. It's really sad, y'all. It really is sad. Thank y'all for sipping a little more tea, but ain't tea. Bye, y'all.
The bill has been passed, and this is what Americans have to say. You're a hospital social worker, and the big beautiful bill just passed, and you try to talk about it, and all you can do is cry. This is because you know exactly how this will play out, because you studied history, mental health, and policy to better learn how to help the world be a better place. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and what are your thoughts when it comes to the big beautiful bill being passed, as well as what are your opinions and where the state of America will look like and how it will affect individuals.
Did y'all see what Kamala said about this stupid ass bill? If you didn't, this is what she said. Thanks to Republicans, 17 million people will lose their health care. Thanks to Senate Republicans, rural hospitals will close. Thanks to Senate Republicans, 3 million Americans, including veterans and seniors, will lose food assistance. Thanks to Senate Republicans, families will see their energy bill go up by $400 a year. Senate Republicans are doing all of this and more, hurting working people across our nation in order to pay for $1 trillion in tax cuts for billionaires. There is still time to stop this bill before it passes in the House. Call 202-224-3121 and tell your representative to vote no. I don't know how much that's going to help, because these Republicans are fucking idiots. But I just saw that Massey said that he has at least 10 Republicans that will vote against this bill. So I'm just going to hope and pray that they do. And for all you fucking MAGAs and weirdos out there that are like, oh, this bill's not going to affect me. I'm not on food stamps. I'm not on Medicaid. I'm not on Medicare. Bitch, it's going to affect you. Because the hospitals and the grocery stores that you go to, they depend on people who have SNAP benefits and who have Medicaid and Medicare to keep their business going. So if 17 million people lose their fucking Medicaid and can't continue to go to these hospitals or can't get paid from people going to these hospitals for Medicaid, what do you think is gonna fucking happen? They're gonna fucking close. If these fucking grocery stores lose out on 40% of their income from people who come in and spend SNAP benefits, what do you think these grocery stores are gonna do? They're gonna start closing. So it will affect every fucking body, whether you're on assistance or not. I'm not on assistance, but my mother is on assistance. I'm her caregiver. So I get paid from Medicaid to take care of her. So you don't have to be the one that's on assistance for this shit to affect you. It's going to affect every fucking body. So everybody who keeps thinking, oh, I'm not a welfare queen, this isn't going to apply to me, and all you people that are on welfare need to get a job. Bitch, 70% of the people that are on motherfucking Medicaid and food stamps that get assistance have full-time jobs. I just barely was not able to qualify. I was making like $45,000 a year and was still qualifying for fucking food assistance and Medicaid, because that's not a living wage. You have to compare what the fuck you have to pay to what you receive, and that tells you if you qualify or not, and how many fucking people you have in your house. So stop thinking that everybody that's on assistance is a bunch of lazy, no job having, worthless motherfuckers, because that's not the case. You have hardworking Americans that are on assistance because America doesn't want to pay us a livable fucking wage. So please, everybody who wants to keep saying that, oh, people just need to get a job and stop living off welfare, stop milking the system, I'm tired of paying for, shut the fuck up.
I'm just sitting around here, I'm so upset because that budget bill passed. I know a lot of y'all may be happy about it, but I'm a senior citizen and I look at things and I research things. Unlike a lot of you guys probably don't know what's in the bill. But not only are they cutting Medicaid, but there will be some impact on seniors who have Medicare, because in 2026, they're going to be decreasing the budget by 4% for Medicare. And what that means is higher price for senior citizens to go to the doctor, or you may not even be able to have the same doctor because they may not even accept your Medicare. So I don't know about you again, but I'm disappointed in the things that have happened in these recent months. How about you? I'd like to hear your opinion too.
Regardless of who you voted for or where you fall on the political spectrum, I need you to hear what I have to say and receive it with an open heart and open mind, because it's not going to only affect you, but it's going to affect millions of your fellow Americans. This is why the big beautiful bill is going to hurt the working, middle, and lower class. As far as housing, they're going to cut rental assistance, Section 8, and homelessness prevention. If you're a low-income family, a veteran, or a single parent, good luck with finding safe and stable housing. These cuts to housing include HUD programs, Section 8 vouchers, and emergency rental assistance. This impacts families already struggling with rent hikes, and they will face longer wait lists or lose their support. Homelessness is likely to rise, especially for single parents, veterans, and low-income seniors. Landlords in low-income areas may evict faster, knowing subsidies won't come through, and this hurts the working-class families, disabled individuals, unhoused people, immigrants, and unsubsidized housing. Up next, how will it affect food stamps and WIC? They're gone for millions. So if you're working full-time and still rely on SNAP to feed your kids, too bad, babes. You're out. Reductions in SNAP, food stamps, WIC, all those programs, they're being cut. Eligibility thresholds are tightening and benefits are shrinking. This affects millions who may get kicked off of food assistance or receive less, even if they're working full-time. Families with kids will see grocery budgets stretched a little thinner, and WIC cuts means fewer resources for pregnant women, babies, and toddlers. This not only hurts single parents, but immigrant families, gig workers, students with kids, and the elderly. As far as health care, Medicaid is getting gutted. That means more uninsured workers, higher medical debt, and fewer mental health resources. If you beat cancer like I did, or live with a chronic illness, they just made staying alive more expensive. This bill causes healthcare program rollbacks. What's being cut is Medicaid expansion and subsidies from the ACA. This impacts low-wage workers who rely on Medicaid, who will then become uninsured or forced into private plans that they cannot afford. Preventative care, mental health services, and prescriptions will become inaccessible. This mainly hurts immigrants, low-income workers, cancer survivors, or people with chronic illnesses. As far as education, they're attacking Pell Grants and student loan relief. First-generation students, immigrants, and parents who are trying to go back to school, the path for a better future for yourself or your family just got that much harder. In relation to the education access, this is what is going to be cut or restricted. Federal Pell Grants, student loan forgiveness programs, funding for public colleges, and adult education. This makes it to where education becomes even harder to access without debt, and immigrants and first-generation students lose their shot at an upward mobility. Adult learners, like parents going back to school, are now going to face more barriers. This hurts the working class students, DACA recipients, parents returning to school, and people trying to skill up to escape poverty. I know this is one of the biggest ones, but the tax cut for the wealthy and corporate welfare, sweet merciful Jesus. While they're slashing aid, this is what they're doing. Expanding tax loopholes for billionaires, lowering corporate tax rates, deregulating industries that exploit labor. Need I go on? In layman's terms, and in order to translate for the people in the back who are just not getting it, tax cuts for billionaires are untouched. Corporate loopholes are still wide open. They're not cutting waste. They're cutting people like us. They're balancing the budget on the backs of the poor while rewarding the already rich. This is why it matters. This bill isn't about cutting waste. It's about cutting people out of basic dignity. It undermines economic mobility, education access, food security, healthcare equity, human rights for immigrants, and working families. It is a direct blow to the working, middle, and lower class. But here's the thing. This isn't the end. It's a wake-up call. Talk about it. Share this. Show up where it counts. Because we deserve more than survival. We deserve a system that serves us, not one that buries us while smiling. If you stayed to the end of the video, please interact with it in any way. Repost, comment, like, share, because this needs to get out to people like us. A lot of people are not aware of what's happening behind the scenes because they're too distracted. And on top of this, many Americans who voted for the talking orange believe that rules for thee and not for me is how things are going to play out. And it's just not. There are many Americans who are waking up to find out that their lives are going to be impacted by this. Many of them are effing around and finding out the hard way, as they should, but unfortunately, millions of other Americans are going to be impacted by the choices that they have made. So if you stayed, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I hope you have a fabulous day, and God bless you.
Republicans just passed the bill in the House, so let's get educated so we know what happens next. Remember, the Senate passed it earlier this week, and there was a little consternation because we didn't know if the House was going to pass it or not. But they did. They're taking away millions of dollars from Medicaid, which will essentially hurt the American people, the least of us. They're taking away SNAP benefits. They are ending subsidies in the Affordable Care Act, which most people have, or let me not say most, a lot of people have the ACA. Obamacare. My kid was born on Obamacare. We were entrepreneurs. We needed to get insurance through the marketplace. And so we went through Obamacare and got a government subsidy to cover the cost because our insurance was going to be $850 a month, or the basics. The basics, not even like top tier premium stuff. We were just like, we need some coverage. We're going to have a kid, all the things. So those subsidies are getting wiped out. But who is going to benefit from this? Billionaires. The people that continue to fund those Republicans' pockets. That's who's going to benefit from this. Not everyday folks like you and me who go to work and pay our taxes. Not even people who need Medicaid because they are the least of these. Side note, I'm a social worker by trade, undergrad, master's degree in social work, getting a doctorate in social work, will be graduating. I don't care what they do with student loans, but will be graduating. Hello, somebody? Will be graduating in 2027. I've worked in an acute care setting in the hospital. Medicare fraud in the way in which they're talking about it is not a thing. There's no cash payments for Medicaid going out to people. People who are on Medicaid are the people that are the least of us. The people that need the help. Picture it, Sophia. People who care about family values are doing things to tear down families, to harm people, to harm families. and the Republicans just passed it. So now it's going to go to Donald Trump's desk. He wanted all this done by July 4th. July 4th is tomorrow. So it looks like they will have some type of grand celebration in this massive bill that is going to hurt everyday Americans, but is going to make it easier for rich folks and corporations. That's who they care about. That is who they passed this bill for. Not for us, and certainly not for the least of us.
Well, it's officially official. The Trump tax has passed. Any of us who are veterans in the sport of political theater understood that this was going to happen the moment that these people were allowed back into office. But there are two things that I want to point out that you might have missed in the theater of it all. Number one, the President of the United States didn't even know that this bill cut Medicaid. You think I'm joking, but when he wooed in Republican congressional representatives to try to win them over, he said, it doesn't touch Medicaid, it doesn't touch Medicare, it doesn't touch Social Security. As long as you don't cut those things, we should be fine. And when they said, sir, it actually does, up to $1 trillion in Medicaid cuts, didn't seem to bother him whatsoever. Move along, he said. Number two, those same congressional holdouts, those Republicans taking a principled stand in the name of democracy and their constituents, sold you out for signed crappy merchandise. No, I'm not kidding about that either. They left with autographed photographs of the president. That was their prize for acting like they cared. So now this is why it's so important that we call this a Trump tax. This needs to be an anchor that weighs them down for the rest of their existence. I want this branding to take down Donald Trump, MAGA, and the entire GOP. Every time a hospital closes, Trump tax. Every time someone loses their life, Trump tax. Every time you get a hangnail, Trump tax. Every time you have a headache, Trump tax. You have to go to work, Trump tax. You put it on stickers, you put it on signs, you put it on hats, you put it on anything you possibly can. Make it unavoidable. This is our Obamacare moment. This is our Let's Go Brandon moment. We need to define exactly what this is. Do not give them time to craft the narrative. Don't let them spin all of this as some magically great thing for everyday Americans. Remember what happened today, and then tell everyone you know that the Trump tax will devastate everyday Americans.
The House just passed the budget reconciliation bill, and it's going to Trump's desk for signing. The final vote was 218 to 214, and it just happened moments ago where Mike Johnson struck down that gavel. And guess what the Republicans in the House are doing? They're yelling with joy and chanting USA. Yes, folks, remember this moment. Remember this moment next time you go to vote, and pay attention from here on out to what happens to you. Because whether or not you're on Medicaid or Medicare or SNAP or receive housing vouchers or LIHEAP, or whether or not you are a veteran or elderly or disabled, no matter who you are, even if you're not in any of those categories, it's going to affect you. Taxes are going to go up. States have to account for the federal money they're no longer receiving. Your taxes are going up. Your insurance will go up on cars, houses. Watch what happens. And this will be the largest deficit our country has ever seen in history, even larger than Trump's first term. We will all suffer as a result of what just happened in the House today. Now, the bill's going to Trump for signing. Of course, he'll sign it. Wait till you hear all about these incredible tax cuts that the super wealthy get. I will go through them all, as I'll go through the entire bill over the next few days and weeks, depending on how long it takes. We'll see if the House made any changes to the Senate's bill, but Trump succeeded in getting this bill passed before his imposed deadline of July 4th. So happy 4th of July, everyone. I will keep you updated for sure. Please like, follow, and share so that I can continue to provide you with content. And I really do appreciate you being here.
Well, they passed the bill, just like we knew they would, and I just have to take a moment to say I have spent my entire life listening to every single Republican I know in my extended family, in my community, and in my many red state workplaces complain that the national debt would be our undoing. And through gritted teeth, they seemed to lament that we would have to come after entitlement programs if we wanted to save ourselves. Because yes, it is true that Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security make up over half of our federal spending. And even though these programs pay for themselves through a healthy and secure society, the kinds of people who can artificially reduce health and happiness to line items on a budget cannot resist the urge to circle those alleged costs as targets for cuts. Like the clueless and ignorant CEO who thinks he can cut pay and benefits without reducing employee happiness or productivity. These people actually believe that federal revenue won't be harmed by ripping healthcare and food support away from 10 to 15 million workers and consumers. And now here we are after 50 fucking years of listening to them cry about how expensive it is to take care of our citizens. They get their wish and they cut $1 trillion fucking dollars from Medicaid. Also, they can put those entitlement cuts toward the national debt, right? Right? Fuck no. They took $1 trillion worth of food and healthcare from poor people, and they borrowed another $2.3 trillion on top of that. And they gave it all to the ultra wealthy through tax cuts. Same wealthy people who over that exact same 50 years of crying saw their income increase by as much as 420%, while the rest of us broke even at best or backslid into poverty at worst. Fact is, across every single facet of life, religion, politics, economics, culture, and crime, the Republican Party you know today is nothing more than the party of debt, poverty, cruelty, and above all else, hypocrisy.
It passed. The big beautiful bill passed. Yeah. My immediate concern is that ICE just got a $150 billion raise. Their annual budget for the entire year is $8 billion. It just went up 13 times to $45 billion. Actually, I'll break it down for you. Their entire yearly budget of $8 billion can now be just for hiring and retention. So all of those people are going to get hundreds of thousands of dollars to terrorize us. $45 billion to build concentration camps across this country. And $14 billion, going up from $750 million to transport. That is my immediate concern. Because as far as I know, all the changes to Medicaid won't kick in until the next year. But even then, you're going to start to see hospitals close down. You're going to start to see clinics close down. You're going to start to see people already getting kicked off of it because states have to prepare for the lack of funds. So, I don't know. We already have a doctor shortage. With the fact that nobody's going to be able to afford med school after this, I don't know. And this bill kills solar. I can't believe I forgot about that. This bill destroys solar energy, wind energy, renewable energy, and forces our money back into coal. Coal. We just had that horrible heat wave, and the only reason the grid did not shut down was because of solar. All of this so that rich people don't pay their taxes.
I'm not doing okay. I am mentally unwell, and I feel like life just seems to be just throwing lemon after lemon after lemon. And that's just my personal life. And then I get on this app and I hear about things like the big beautiful bill and alligator Alcatraz. And I just think to myself, this all has to be a simulation. There is no way that this shit can be real, because I genuinely, what do you mean? What do you mean? The fact that our government, I mean, and we've known this for years, right? That the government, the vast majority of people in America don't give a fuck about themselves, let alone other people. Because so many people voted against their best interests, which, as I said first, they don't even give a fuck about themselves. Their hatred, their racism, their bigotry is at the forefront. So far at the forefront, they are fucking over themselves. I haven't said much about this. I repost all the time. But every single time I try to make a video about what's going on, I get so frustrated I can't even articulate myself. And that is coming from someone who is a certified yapper, who always has something to say about everything. And I have nothing to say about this, because what do you say?
What do you say? What do you mean? What do you mean y'all are about to strip Medicaid? I'm not working right now. I'm not working right now. And I'm just grateful that I am an able-bodied and fairly, for the most part, physically healthy person. Mentally is a completely different conversation. And that I could afford, to go to the doctor out of pocket if need be. But our tax dollars should be going to make sure that we could all go to the fucking hospital if we need to. What do you mean? We are building full-blown concentration camps with merch? Are we all so sick and detached? Are we so desensitized to the evil, to the atrocities that are going on? Is this stuff happening so often to the point where we literally, it's like, oh, well, it's just another day in America. Is that what's happening? That can't be what's happening. I just rewatched the video of the press secretary talking about the grand opening of Alligator Alcatraz. I saw it and I had to close it. I went back and watched it again. And she looks giddy. She's cheesing. I don't even think we've ever seen her look that excited about anything ever. And we are literally talking about a place where people are going to go and never leave from. They built that bitch in 8 days. 8 days and $450 million to build a death camp. They could have solved homelessness in 8 days. And instead, this is what they're choosing to do with our tax. This is not what I want my tax dollars used for. For schmurder? I didn't sign up for that. That's not how I want my money to be fucking used. And it's only going to get worse. It's only been 6 months. It's only been 6 months. And I obviously, like, you speak out, as a person with a platform, you use your platform and, you repost and you do what you can. And like I said, in our case, as a 92%er, I voted. But I can't help but feel like I can't do anything, and I'm just about to watch the world burn. This is disgusting. And this idea that America is the greatest country on earth, we never have been, because we've always been okay with fuck shit like this. I would like to say that as a country, that we're better than this. And, I can't say that in good conscience anymore. And like I said, if we're being real, we probably never could say that. So
I don't want to hear post 6 months from now from fucking red hats crying about the fact that they're getting fisted left and right because of this bill that they're celebrating on the page today. I don't want to hear a single word about the fucking Democrats being the goddamn problem in 6 months from now when you're literally getting absolutely fisted by the bill you're cheering on. I don't want to hear fucking shit from MAGA, regardless of anything, because at this point, you have already proven to me that you are so low-level, uneducated, that you couldn't even look into the bill to see what it would do personally to yourself or anyone in your family. I don't give a fuck about no taxes on tip and overtime when I'm still waiting for a $5,000 motherfucking Doge check that I was promised from all you fucks back in February. I don't want to see the tears and the GoFundMes built up when you can't afford to fucking take care of your own goddamn parents because you would rather strip them away from your Medicaid and receive an extra $200 next year on your taxes. I don't want to hear about your cousin's disability not going through and has to be forced to go to work. So we need to make another GoFundMe to take care of your cousin at the same time because they literally can't work and they just lost all their fucking support because we allowed ourselves to be able to have people elected into office who would sign a bill that would literally take away everything from you and your family if they fucking could, if that meant putting more money into billionaires' pockets. It's truly fucking laughable at this point that you guys are still fucking believing a single word these motherfuckers have been saying when we're literally still waiting for $5,000 dose checks that you were promised back in February. Truly, I'm going to make the biggest bag of popcorn and get the biggest fucking beer I can find and watch in celebration of all of your lives literally get destroyed from this bill. Enjoy what you fucking voted for.
Republicans passing this bill that's going to hurt the most of us has me really conflicted. Because on one hand, people voted for this. People voted for this. Kamala Harris put out a tweet that said this is Project 2025 in action, and it is. A lot of us tried to raise the alarm last year. And so part of my disillusion with even walking away from politics towards the end of last year was like, I'm tired. And if this is what the people want, hey, go for it. And the other part is me feeling like, no, this is still going to harm people who didn't vote for this. And so I should use energy and time to make noise. But my brain just jumps back and forward like maybe people will just have to endure the atrocities that are coming down the pike because they voted for this. And then my brain jumps back to, but what about the people who didn't? It's just, it's just a lot back and forth. I know I can't be the only one. I can't be the only one that's like, it's like double dutch. It's like double dutch. Double dutch in my brain about how I feel is back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. Sit back, let it happen, jump in, this is wrong. How y'all feel?
Welp, the bill just passed. My daughter is disabled and has been her entire life, and I am incredibly worried about her future, and the future of her community. The disabled community needs improvements in their coverage and in their medical care. And now with this bill, everything is set to be worse. So many of us didn't vote for this, and we screamed and shouted that it would come, even when politicians lied in our face saying that they wouldn't touch Medicaid. We knew better. And now, here we are, and I've never wanted to be wrong about being right so badly. Today, I just find myself feeling so demoralized and filled with so much anger. The bulk of my anger is aimed at family members who voted for this against their own granddaughter. Those aren't people I have in my life anymore. This is the reason why. Because I said this would happen. I said this would come. And they said I was wrong. And now here we are. Here we are.
Congress passed that butt ugly bill. That bill that we called our Congress folks and our senators, that we posted about, that we made sure everyone was in awareness, everyone was informed about what the potentials were. We tried our best, and it still passed. It's heading to Trump's desk, and it's the 4th of July celebration that he wanted, that he's looking for. Now, the reality is that it is bad. We weren't just saying that for the sake of saying it. Like, it's going to cut 17 million people off their health care, another 4 million off of SNAP. It's going to make ICE the largest law enforcement agency with a larger budget than some of our allies allocate for their military. It's going to balloon the deficit by $3.5 trillion. It's the worst jobs bill in history. And Mike Johnson got up and said, this is what the American people voted for and wanted. Which leads me to the question of, what do we do now? Number one, we remain as educated as we possibly can about the impact and effects. I'm going to be right here, letting you know what the potential outcomes and impacts of this now law will be. So we can push people towards resources, figuring out how to mitigate as much as humanly possible, recognizing that we can't out-mitigate all of it, but we can do something. Which then leads to C. We have to start focusing on the 2026 midterms. Now, I know some of y'all are going to be like, oh, electionism, da-da-da-da. If there were 2 more Democratic senators, the bill wouldn't have passed. If there were 5 more Democratic congressmen, the bill wouldn't have passed. The reality is that had the election gone differently, we would not be here. Now, that's neither here nor there now. It's 2025. We got to move past it. We got to start thinking about 2026 and recognizing that through the entire process of how people get selected, we have to be asking the question. And I promise you, every chance I get, I will ask the question of what, if Democrats get the House and the Senate, will they do to push against and mitigate the thing that just happened? How will they undermine this to ensure people have access to health care, have access to food benefits, that we curtail the secret police that is ICE, that we do what we can to decrease the deficit, that we actually allocate funds for education? Like, what are we going to do from here? The reality is, we're going to educate ourselves. I'm right here. Every time I get any information about resources, you get information about resources, let's spread them. Let's start thinking about this next election. It's dark today. I'm sad. Sad is an understatement. But I will try to find hope. I'm going to be right here. We're right here. We're going to do everything we can to make sure that people are going to be okay. Thank you for all the work that you did. And thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Baby, we lost. And so you wonder, well, what we gonna do? Well, the first thing that you have to do is take care of you. You have to make sure that you are okay. So you do what you need to. You can scream it out, cry it out, hug it out. You do whatever you need to do to be okay when it's not okay. You do that first. And then, secondly, get ready. Get ready for the 2026 midterms. Special, primary, and midterm elections matter. And 2026 will matter more than ever before. History is on our side. It shows that when lawmakers do what Republicans just did, and they vote against the interests of the American people, they go against the wishes of their constituents. They pay a heavy price in midterm elections. We have to make sure that 2026 is no different. Must focus on swing districts and commit to unseating those who betrayed the American people. There are 25 U.S. House races considered toss-ups, 11 governor's races, 6 Senate races, and the bill passed. It did, and there will be consequences for the American people. But let there also be consequences for the lawmakers who voted for this. That means that we cannot stop applying pressure. Cannot stop making our voices heard. We need to consistently remind them of what they did. Seniors and the most vulnerable among us right now, they're not going to be getting rest due to worry. These lawmakers should also not be getting rest and enjoying a 4th of July weekend. They don't need to know a moment's peace. We need to continue to call, email, and use social media to let them know how we feel about their commitment to building their profits over people. Saving American democracy is a marathon, not a sprint. It means that we have to combine grassroots mobilization, electoral action, strategic communication, and sustained policy pressure into one effective effort and habit. Holding lawmakers accountable, flipping key seats, and demanding reversals of this bill is both practical and possible, and to be honest with you, essential before 2020.